7 pairs, February 17th, July 17th, 7 days. What's up with this number 7? 7 and 17 just keeps popping up. Hi everyone, welcome to Learning God's Guidance 5678 with Audrey here. Today we're doing Genesis chapter 7 and chapter 8. We're going to be diving deep. I'm just going to read it off of my phone first, and as I go, I did take some notes. This is basically paraphrase because I'm realizing when I write, obviously, well, not just realizing, but we all know this, right? When you put pen to paper, it just sits in there better. So that's kind of what I did throughout. Let's go. All right, you ready? Genesis chapter 7. This is the ESV version, by the way. Oh my gosh, my son keeps running in here with his Nike button. Hey, go, go, go. Good, I blocked it. All right. Okay, ready? All right, am I ready? Here we go. Then the Lord said to Noah, "Go into the ark and all your household, for I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation." So again, God is giving him another command, and he's also complimenting him in the moment, right? Saying how righteous he is. He says, "Take with you 7 pairs of all clean animals, the male and his mate, and a pair of the animals that are not clean, the male and his mate, and 7 pairs of the birds of the heavens, also male and female, to keep their offspring alive on the face of the earth." So when I had to reread this a couple times, because at first I was like, wait, a pair of all the clean animals and then all the not clean animals. I'm like, oh, why didn't he just say all animals? You know, he makes a distinction between the clean and the unclean, but in either case he says take all of them, right? And 7 pairs, that number 7. Okay, for in 7 days I will send rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every little thing that I have made I will blot out from the face of the ground. And Noah did all that the Lord had commanded him. Again, Noah, you are just totally awesome, just following everything that God tells you to do, right? So, and not just tells you, he commanded him, right? So God's command must have been pretty powerful, pretty strong in order for Noah to listen to do something like this, right? And I feel like God's like that with all of us. It's just a matter of if we're listening, right? Okay, continue. So Noah was 600 years old when the flood came upon the earth. So, okay, he was 600 years old. That had me thinking back to the last chapter we read about how people live to 120, right? So I was kind of like, did that happen after? I mean, when, this might sound like a silly question, but he's telling us Noah's 600, he wants us to know his age, right? When this happened. So when did the 120-year thing come into place? Was it for all the future generations? I'm assuming so, but anyway, because if he's already past 120 here, he's definitely past 120. Anywho, okay, moving on. And Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him went into the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Of clean animals and of animals that are not clean, there he goes again, and of birds and of everything that creeps on the ground, 2 and 2, female and male, went into the ark with Noah as God has commanded Noah. And after 7 days, the waters of the flood came upon the earth. So what he said was going to happen in 7 days happened in 7 days. When God says something, it is, right? It will be. So, and again, he makes the distinction. He's just very descriptive of what the details on, right, on the what, the how, the why that we talked about in the previous video. If you haven't seen that one, go check it out, Genesis chapter 6. But anyway, okay. Yep, and then after 7 days, continue. Okay, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, so basically on February 17th, On that day, all the fountains of the great deep burst forth and the windows of the heavens were opened. So the word choice here was just so descriptive, and like, it's like you can really imagine that, right? The fountains of the great deep burst forth. I just imagine like this waterfall of fountain river flowing, just like the power of water, right? Fountains of the great deep burst forth and the windows of the heavens were opened. And I literally thought of like this glass window that's between the expanse of the earth, right? In the beginning, when he says, and God said, let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters. Let it separate the waters from the waters that were under the expanse from the waters above the expanse. And the expanse is heaven, right? So water up here, water below. So yeah, just imagining that glass window, he uses the term window, heavens were opened and the water all comes in. And this kind of ties into another, had me thinking about something else I'm also learning separate, where that actually lines up with scripture here, of like being inside well, that's a different, okay, let's focus on this. Sorry, I can go on a rant. Okay, and the windows of the heavens were opened, and rain fell upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them entered the ark. They and every beast according to its kind, and all the livestock according to their kinds, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, every winged creature. They went into the ark with Noah, 2 and 2 of all flesh, in which there was the breath of life. And those that entered, male and female of all flesh, went in as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. Okay, so when I'm reading that part there, I'm reminded of like Genesis chapter 1. And when he's talking about his creation, right? And here he's like reiterating everything that I've ever made according to its kind, according to its kind, according to its kind, right? So he's very consistent. Okay, and then those that entered, male and female of all flesh. And that can lead into like a whole nother topic about what kind of genders there are, which I'm not going to go into. But I'm clearly here in the beginning of all things, and in chapter 6 here, he tells us there's 2. Okay, so let's see. The flood continued 40 days on the earth. The waters increased and bore up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the face of the waters. The waters prevailed so mightily on the earth that all the high mountains under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed above the mountains, covering them 15 cubits deep. Another detail. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds, livestock, beasts, all swarming creatures that swarm on the earth, and all mankind. So he's using the same language from Genesis chapter 1 so that we are reminded of his creation, of everything, right? Everything on the dry land and everything on the dry land in whose nostrils was the breath of life died. And I took note of that when he's like, remember the nostrils was the breath of life. That's how he blew into Adam's nostrils to give the breath of life. He uses that same illustration here to let us know for sure that every little thing that he created through the nostrils of the breath of life was now dead. Right? He blotted out every living thing that was on the face of the ground, man and animals and creeping things and birds of the heavens. They were blotted out from the earth. Only Noah was left, and those who were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. What? 150 days. I had to ask Alexa, like, how many months is that? Guess how many months that is, you guys? It's 4 months and 28 days. 4 months and 28 days of water on the earth, and you're stuck in this ark. And not even just that long. He's in there longer, right? Oh boy. But I basically wrote out on my notes here the dates. So basically the flood started on February 17th, right? And then it says We're going to go into it in chapter 8 here, but yeah, let me just keep going, because then he goes into detail of when the waters abated, became less, and the dates and all that. Okay, so chapter 7, he just basically paints this illustration of matter of fact, this is what's going to happen, this is what I'm going to do, and then he does it, and he follows through. And Noah's just basically going along for the ride. Wow. Okay. Now we're moving on to Genesis 8, okay? The flood subsides. But God remembered Noah and all the beasts and all the livestock that were with him in the ark. He did not forget that he had him do all this, right? And God made a wind blow over the earth and the waters subsided. That must have been a really powerful wind. The fountains of the deep and the windows of the heavens were closed. The rain from the heavens were restrained. Okay, so this is the same verbiage used earlier, right? Just paint such a cool illustration. The fountains of the deep and the windows of the heavens were closed this time, and the rain from the heavens was restrained, and the waters receded from the earth continually. At the end of 150 days, the waters had abated, and in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Did I say that right? Sorry. And the waters continued to abate until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. Okay, so basically from February 17th is when the flood started. God told him on February 10th, because he told him 7 days prior, you know, in 7 days this will happen. It happens. The flood starts on the 17th. And then on July 17th, it starts to abate. And then from July 17th to October 1st, it's like still abating. Is that a word? Sure. Like, so he wasn't in there for just 4 months and 28 days. He was practically in there a year, a long time. And it continues on. And it was a year. So I think it was, yeah. So let's keep going. Guys, careful. The kids are like right here, sorry. At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark that he had made and sent forth a raven. It went to and fro until the waters were dried up from the earth. Dang, that's a long time to be going to and fro, right? Like lost, just trying to find somewhere to land, and there's like nowhere to go. Okay, and then Noah sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters had subsided from the face of the ground. But the dove found no place to set her foot, and she returned to him to the ark, for the waters were, shh, guys, quiet, for the waters were still on the face of the whole earth. Okay, so basically, what I got from this is, first he sends a raven. The raven's clueless, doesn't know what to do, flying all over the place, to and fro. Then he's like, let me get smarter about what type of bird I should use to help me with this. So the dove, so he's like, cool, a dove works, right? He sends the dove, but realizes, oh, there's still water because the dove came back, right? And because there's nowhere for the dove to land. And then, so he brought the dove back in the ark with him. He waited another 7 days. So he's using his patience here, people. He's like, okay, well, that didn't work with the raven, and it still didn't work with the dove. Let me wait another 7 days and see if I can try this again. He waited another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came back to him in the evening, and behold, in her mouth was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Can you imagine being Noah after being locked up in this ark for how many months, right? Just like seeing the leaf, just being so excited. So, because it says here now, Noah knew that the waters had that the waters had subsided from the earth. That was his proof that he got this leaf in this dove's mouth, right? Then he waited another 7 days and sent forth the dove, and she did not return to him anymore. So as excited as he got, like he's starting to see proof of what he's been looking forward to, and knowing that, okay, you know, the water's subsiding, and let's wait another 7 days and make sure it's super safe. And yeah, keep your onesie on. Finally put a diaper on, but he's like, I'm gonna wait another 7 days. And then the dove isn't returning anymore, which means she landed foot, right? She was able to land. That, can you imagine how everybody was just celebrating in the ark? Okay, continue. In the 601st year, in the first month, the day of the, in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried from the earth. So that is January 1st. Okay, so from February 17th to January 1st, wow, the waters are finally dry. In the second month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth had dried out. So I think it dried out completely on the 27th of the month. So yeah, literally a little over a year. February 17th when it started to February 27th of the next year. That's crazy town. Okay, then God said to Noah, go out from the ark, you and your wife and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you everything that is with you of all flesh, birds and animals, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, that they may swarm on the earth and be fruitful and multiply on the earth. So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, every bird, everything that moves on the earth went out by families from the ark. That stuck out to me. They stuck together through it all. The families went out together, right? Wow, what a celebration. Can you imagine that day? Just like, yes, we're free. Let's go see sunlight. Let's get out of here. Like, they just must have been so excited. Oh, okay, continue. So God's covenant with Noah. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord. So he's out now. He built an altar to the Lord and took some of every clean animal and some of every clean bird and offered burnt offerings on the altar. So basically, he's showing his gratitude to the Lord. Thank you for saving me through all this. Thank you for telling me what to do. He's showing his appreciation, right? He's making an altar. He's giving him burnt offerings. And then it continues. And when the Lord smelled the pleasing aroma, the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground because of man, for the intention of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I ever again strike down every living creature as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. So the earth is always going to remain, right? He doesn't say humans will, but he says the earth will. but he does say we'll never again curse the ground because of man. So wow, that's just, what a mission Noah had and completed, and God showed up for him. Okay, so that's chapter 7 and 8. Reading verbatim from the ESV here. And then my notes here in summary, I wrote, God gives Noah a second chance. And when Noah shows gratitude, God promises to never curse ground of man. The earth will always remain. Noah stayed obedient, right? Throughout this whole process, he stayed obedient. He listened to God's voice. He continued doing what he was commanded to do. And he was patient. Even when he got the little taste of his fruition, of things coming into fruition, of God's word following through, he remained patient. And when he saw an obstacle, when he saw an obstacle to an answer, when he saw an obstacle, for example, the raven, right? Okay, I'm gonna use this bird. Even through all of this, God's making him do extraordinary things. And Noah still has obstacles, right? Okay, here's this raven. It's not working. Let me try a dove instead. He doesn't complain. There's no, I mean, maybe he was complaining in the ark, who knows? But it doesn't state it. He just comes up with another solution, right? And continues so he can find out if it's safe to leave the ark. So he listens to that. He waits 7 days. He gets the dove. He gets excited, I'm sure, when he sees that the dove, brings back leaf. And he just makes a smarter decision. So even when you're having an obstacle, something comes up, just trust that there is always a solution. There's always a solution, and when you patiently wait on God's voice and God's timing, things will just line up. That's kind of what I took from chapter 7 and 8. What did you take from it? Comment below, let me know. Wait, there's a little bit more notes I forgot I wrote on the back. Okay, so Noah basically, he's in there for like an entire year, right? And think about it, he's being locked away in this ark. I mean, it's huge, but still to be confined to a boat for an entire year, right? Talk about boat fever. And plenty of darkness, right? If he can't even open the window, I mean, he opens the window to check for the bird later, but like, I assume the first and second levels are pretty, and the third, I mean, he had to be safe from water, right? So it's probably pretty dark in there as far as like no sunlight, right? And so I thought that's plenty of darkness. And then time, you could say that's, time in a void, like in the beginning when he talks about the heavens, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. So he's in this darkness and this void for a year where he can't, be out in the sunlight and experiencing earth and everything. In that void, though, he's probably imagining what it's like to be out there again, what this new life is going to be like. He's probably visualizing, imagining what's going to happen next. And he has this like period of settling, sitting in the darkness and just having that blank slate to create from, right? And then when God's timing is perfectly clear and when his voice is clear to move, he takes the steps. He takes those baby steps. That might even be long, right? Or an obstacle, you could say, like choosing the raven first, right? He takes the first step, and that first step was to open the window and let the raven try the raven. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, second step, do the dove and have patience, right? So in other words, when God's telling you to go and act, do it. And then give thanks for the guidance when it's time. It's time to come out of the ark. It's time to be revealed. It's time to tell everyone about your idea. It's time to whatever creation you are creating, right? Whatever thing you're imagining and visualizing and working from the void and then going into your creation. Whenever it is that time to pop, right? Give thanks for the guidance and the opportunity in itself to just be alive, to be able to express and create the way God wants us to create, right? The way he created us, the way we create whatever it is we want to create. So anyway, I'll leave you with that now. Okay, hit the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and hope you got something out of this. If you did, comment below and let me know. Okay, bye.